What surprised you most about this list?
It's less surprising the more that I do it, but I think sometimes watching what people have overcome to achieve their positions, the stories of personal triumph and personal loss. We have someone on the list named Aya Komaki. She is the CEO of Sanrio, which if you don't know the name of that company, you do know the name of something Sanrio holds, which is Hello Kitty.
Of
So
course.
that's the parent company behind the global phenomenon that is Hello Kitty. Aya's been working for Sanrio in some form or another since she graduated with her master's degree in the 80s. But she stopped working to be a stay-at-home mom and then lost a child, got divorced, then returned in the early 2000s, survived breast cancer and a hysterectomy, was eventually put in charge of the division that oversees Hello Kitty World, the amusement park, and grew that audience into millions of people who visit the park now. And in 2019, at the age of 60, she became Sanrio's CEO. But if you look at the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations and then the triumphs, the three T's, she's just one of many people who really bear down in moments of difficulty and show what's possible.
That's incredible. Can you name some more inspiring stories that you've seen on the list this year?
I'm a fan of Ambika Srinivasan. She is a Malaysian lawyer and human rights advocate. She was actually president of the Malaysian bar, but what I love about her story is that while the president of the Malaysian bar, you think of that as buttoned up and in the office, she led a march in the streets of lawyers protesting for reform, judicial reform. And then after that, she called for human rights. She's been a staunch advocate for women and, in fact, successfully changed the Malaysian constitution for when women testify in court for their testimony to hold equal weight to those of men's testimony, which prior to her involvement, if a man and a woman testified in a Malaysian court, their testimonies held different weights, which to my eye doesn't seem fair. So there's inspirations of all kinds throughout this list.
Every woman you've mentioned so far has a vastly different career path. But based on all of these women, what's a common theme you've seen on this year's list?
I think it's the theme within the 50 over 50 in general, which is not assuming life or a career ends at a certain point and instead looking at it as chapters or a series of evolutions. You do one thing and you don't just assume that it's done and it's over and you pack your bags and go home. You can evolve, you can do something different, you can do something bigger, better than ever before.
I love that. And Forbes is obviously famous for the 30 under 30 list. This is 50 over 50. So obviously, aside from the age, how do these two lists differ?
What's interesting is you strip away the age and you hear a lot of the same things. There is this drive to change the world. There is, among a lot of the people on the list, and I was talking about it with someone earlier today, you see a personal passion that becomes a professional mission, whether it's through giving back. There's one woman on the list who founded an education company. She did that after watching her daughter struggle in school, in a school in Singapore, and then the whole family moved to London, and the daughter thrived at the London school, and that's because the London school encouraged play and exploration. So she came back to Singapore and started this school that's now served 20,000 people, I think. So you get that merging of the personal and the professional. The professional would not have been there without the personal inspiration. And that's a story we've heard countless times over and over again, whether you're looking at the 50 over 50 or the 30 under 30.